Alright. Hooper Kratos here, experienced Magic Brick Wars player, and I am going to do some bug testing. There have been a few bugs that I have noticed, and one is a bug somebody else has noticed, and I wanted to test them. I am playing a friendly battle with myself in an attempt to I'll figure this out. Alright, so I'm going to try doing a mummy versus a Mr. Goo, because I don't think Mr. Goo's poison adequately poisons the mummy. It doesn't seem to really slow him down all that much. Maybe it works. It does okay. The other thing is this confused brick. I'm trying to figure out the conditions under which the what do you call it? Mr. Goo's damage doesn't seem to work properly with the mummy. I haven't figured it out yet. All right. Now, Scooter Man, he said that. Oh yeah, look at that. Mr. Goo poisons himself. That doesn't seem to be correct. That doesn't seem like it should work that way. All right. Now the last one I wanted to show is this. Let's see if I can get it to work. Yep, look at that. It took away a brick. So what happens is the summon magic brick randomly summons a mana brick along with it 50% of the time. The other 50% of the time, it summons an empty square. It's not supposed to do that, but that's what it does. Alright, well, I'm still not convinced about the Mr. Goo and the mummy. Let's see, I gotta get a mummy here. Alright, I've got myself a Mr. Goo on one side. Let's get myself a mummy. Where's the mummy? There he is. I only have 30 seconds left. Alright. And then, what about if I do this? I'm going to just plop him down in front of the mummy. Yeah, it does not seem like the pool of poison there really does very much damage to it. So it's that immediate pool of poison. It looks like he gets damage from the other from the rest of the poison. I'm gonna rematch myself here and experiment with that. So it looks like if you drop Mr. Goo right in front of the mummy, it's not going to do very much damage to the mummy. I don't know what it is about that pool of poison. It just really does not cut it against the mummy. Alright, I've got myself a mummy. Now I gotta get myself a Mr. Goo. There we go. Alright, now let's stick the mummy here. I'm gonna stick Mr. Goo back here so I get a nice long trail of poison. And we'll watch what happens. Alright, so the initial poison does not do much. It hardly does anything. The initial poison hardly does any damage to the mummy. But the trail does poison. That is just weird. So, to me that does not sound like what they described in the update. Alright, so I've got myself... Let's see it one more time the other way. So if I drop it right in front of him... he does a little bit of damage, and then that's it. It's hardly anything. Wow. That is so weird. So, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be that way or not, but it does make I was all excited for the Mr. Good changes because I was like, oh, all of a sudden you've got a counter to a mummy that is not another tank. But unless you create an entire poison trail, Mr. Goo just really does not do a lot of damage to the mummy. In fact, I almost think you might get more damage off of another unit. No. Oh, wait a minute. What is it that I'm doing? Let's try mummy versus, say, like this guy. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the koala does more damage to the mummy overall than the Mr. Goo did. So, yeah. Like, Mr. Goo will kill almost anything else. Like, let's do Mr. Goo versus the koala. Alright. I've got a koala, now I need a Mr. Goo. Okay. So let's do Mr. Goo, and then, Mr. Koala, and I will drop a Mr. Goo right in the koala's face like I did to the mummy. I mean, look at that. That does a ridiculous amount of damage to the koala. But I bet you... You know what? Let me try this. Let's see how much damage this does. It does hardly anything. The mummy is not that tanky. It seems to do reduced damage to the mummy. I can't figure this out. Well, anyway, who's winning? This guy is. Then I need to look at the actual stats of the mummy again. All right. I want a rematch. No, I don't. What? Will it not let you? Haha! I reject your rematch. Take that. Okay. I'm an idiot. All right. Let's look at the mummy's stats. Oh, this is not. I don't. That's right. I do not have a max level mummy. I have to look at him in my other account. At max level, the mummy has 2,973 hit points. So, I mean, maybe... I mean, he's only got a few hundred less than the Viking. So, I mean, that's something to try. Let's see what happens with the Viking. Just to compare. You know what? I'm going to put the Viking in. Let's see if I can get a friendly match working. They have a tendency not to work. Come on, work, work, work. Hey, is it gonna work? Yay, it's working. Okay. Let's do this. I need one of the tanks. Alright, so I got myself a tank. I need a Mr. Goo. Alright, let's drop Mr. Goo in a Viking's face and let's see what it does for damage. Yeah, look at that. It does way more damage to the Viking. I mean, it did half damage to the Viking. The Viking has more hit points. I do not understand this. Alright, I got myself a Mr. Goo. Oh, look, I've got a Mummy coming. Now watch what it does to the mummy. It does like a third of the damage to the mummy. It does significantly less damage to the mummy. So I don't know why it does that, but yeah, that's what I needed. I needed to compare the Viking and the mummy, and you can tell there is a significant difference between the two. There's something wrong with the Mr. Goo and mummy interaction. It's not what you expect. So I have made decks where Mr. Goo is my counter to a tank. It works for Vikings. It works for dragons. It does not work on the mummy, even though it does some damage to the mummy. And I can't figure out what the precise issue is, but there you have it. So that is debugging with Hooper Kratos.